I'm Metro Focus contributor Matt Ryan, managing editor and host of New York Now. The 2018 blue wave hit Republicans hard. The party here in New York was swept on the statewide ticket once again. They suffered some surprising defeats in red congressional districts, and they lost badly in Senate races, giving Democrats total control in Albany. A longtime party chair, Ed Cox, was forced to step aside when Western New York's Nick Langworthy successfully secured enough votes to take over the position. The longtime head of the Erie County GOP has a lot of work to do, as he acknowledged when we sat down with him just up the hill from the Capitol.
I guess this is what rock bottom looks like, isn't it? There's nowhere to go but up. And, I think the most recent Siena poll that came out a couple weeks ago talked about how New Yorkers want balance in their government. And you have over 60% of people that said that they prefer it to have at least one house of the legislature, one arm of our government to be in Republican hands. I think you're going to see a pendulum swing. My job is to get it going in that direction. And I think with a new energy and a new direction and a more aggressive form of messaging, we're going to do that.
Langworthy was an early supporter of Donald Trump. In fact, he tried to persuade him to run for governor in 2014 before the real estate mogul set his sights on the Oval Office. He gives the president high marks halfway through his term.
I just look at the economy. I mean, it's absolutely on fire. We've got record low unemployments under every socioeconomic segment of our population. I mean, the stock market and people's 401ks has soared. He's actually, holding the world at task that other countries are actually starting to pay for things. It's not just America paying the bill for everybody else. I mean, the president's doing exactly what he said he was going to do when he ran for president. And I think that's what the media has such a hard time with. Someone that's actually following through and governing the way that they said they would.
He said one of the reasons Republicans suffered losses last November is because Trump wasn't on top of the tickets. One of the congressional districts the GOP chair thinks can flip back is in Staten Island and Brooklyn, New York 11, which freshman Democrat Max Rose represents after upsetting Dan Donovan last year. The Republicans have a strong candidate running next year in current Assemblywoman and former mayoral candidate Nicole Malliotakis.
I just spent 5 days with Nicole in Israel as we toured the country together. She's running very hard, aggressively, and she's raising resources. She's been elevated in some of the national Republican rankings as a seat to watch, and I think they call it Young Guns, is a designation that her candidacy was given, which is set by Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader of the House of Representatives. So I think there's a lot of people nationally watching that race. She's certainly a strong ethnic woman, and to have we need her to be successful to restore a Republican seat in Congress within the 5 boroughs of the city of New York. I think it's really important for us to have a federal official from the 5 boroughs for party identity purposes. But I think she's just a far more effective advocate for Staten Island and Brooklyn than Max Rose.
And Langworthy isn't just thinking short term here. He has his eyes set on the Capitol, where Andrew Cuomo has said he plans to run for a 4th term in 2022.
We beat one Cuomo that was reaching for a 4th term, and we're going to beat another one. This governor's a bully. He governs through intimidation. And as I talked about at our press conference earlier today, I mean, we have a culture of pay to play that's permeated, his administration for the last decade. And, between that and a leftward leash that this legislature is now forcing on this governor under his watch, issues like driver's licenses for illegal immigrants, issues like geriatric parole, the way that we're seeing our police officers treated in the streets. You have a de-evolution of New York. I mean, there are still people, and the vast silent majority of this state are people that respect the rule of law, respect law enforcement, and you don't see that the people in their government having their back. And I believe that, this governor, thinks he's impervious to shelf life, but, we're ready for a New York comeback, which starts with common sense. So we are on a recruitment mission. We are out there looking actively for the next Republican governor of this state, because the only way to change New York is to change governors.
We'll see what gains Republicans make in 2019 in various county executive races across the state. But no doubt the first big test of Langworthy's leadership will come next November at the polls. In Albany, for Metro Focus, I'm Matt Ryan.